Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm fine, Siddharth. I'm good. I'm doing fine. So it's been a while. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm fine. Thanks, and yourself. So, yeah, I'm glad to catch up with you. It's been a long while, and yeah, this issue has been happening in America quite hectically, this
Yeah.
ongoing Epstein case. So, I thought, why not, talk to my good friend Anthony? It's been a long time just to get his thoughts. So, my opening question to you is what are your thoughts on the renewed public interest in the Epstein case, and why do you think it's resurfacing now?
Ah, the almighty Epstein case. I don't think there's anything more popular than that. It's something that you know, it's a popular talk, popular story. That has been generating a lot of buzz on the internet, on the social media. So, but yeah, just as you said, it has resurfaced all of a sudden in 2025. So, but to me, I think I see some kind of, kind of a political play in this, okay? Because this Epstein case didn't start recently. That's been long going, So, but for it to start coming up now, I see political play.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I think the Director of Justice
Mm-hmm.
recently, I think there's some kind of connection between the Director of Justice as well. But Donald Trump. I think that was part of his promise, his campaign
Mm-hmm.
promise. He promised to bring up the Epstein case and judge every culprit, you know, provide justice to every culprit that are found wanting in the Epstein case. So yeah, Donald Trump, his administration promised to release the files, and even when he first talked about it, and even when he won the presidency and he was sworn in, Americans, not just Americans, even all the whole world, every member of the world, everybody, the whole country, everybody was looking forward to this almighty Epstein files and who is in it, who is involved. So everybody has been looking forward for the files to be released. But up to now, no files have been released. Rather, we are seeing some kind of contradictory statements, and people, so a lot of political analysis and arguments, and all these things have fueled speculation and frustration because this is not what actually people expected. So, yeah, but there was a memo from the Director of Justice, concerning this Epstein case. And Epstein himself, okay, the man named Epstein himself, it's people said he killed himself. He committed suicide. That's part of what is speculating up and down. And the Attorney General, what's his name? Bondi, yeah, I think that's his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bondi actually said the Epstein case is a conspiracy theory. He said it's not real. he said it's not real. It said it's a conspiracy theory. And on his own end, is calling for transparency, for for people to look into this issue with double, have their mind open and
Mhm.
look into this thing, with double perspective. So, and yeah, there's so much buzz on the social media. So, but in a nutshell, to summarize everything to your question,
Mhm.
um, well, I told you it's a political play. I see a lot of political play going on in this. This thing is trying to divert people's attention in pressing issues that are happening in America and all over the world. And yes, for General Bondi as well, Attorney General Bondi, to actually say it's also a conspiracy theory, I also see some element of truth in it,
Mm.
because, yeah, I see some element of truth in it. But yeah, I think all these things has what has constituted, for this to be coming up at this point in time. Yeah.
I have a question for you from the comment section. Are you okay if I ask you the question?
Oh, okay. Oh, fine. That's okay.
Sure. All right. This is from Reshchitan. Hi, Eric. Is it true that the Epstein case goes up to royalty involvement?
Of course, of course. just like I told you, this Epstein case is something that doesn't affect only Americans. It affects the entire world. So yes,
Mhm.
royalty involvement is also there. We have the almighty Queen of England, which is in Britain. I think that's when you want to talk about the royalty, when you want to rank royalty in the world, I think that's the highest royalty. We also have royalty in Saudi Arabia. Okay, so yeah, and when you look at social media, there are some lists that has actually been released on social media. And when you look into that names that have been released, of course, the Queen of England, may her soul rest in peace, the late Queen Elizabeth, who passed away, I think sometime last year, her name is in the list. Okay, then include the
Sure.
Prince of Saudi. Yeah, her name is in the list. Then the Prince of Saudi Arabia, his
Yeah.
name is also in the list. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's some reality involvement. Yeah, sure, there is.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you believe justice has truly been served in the Epstein case, especially considering the number of high-profile individuals allegedly involved?
Justice. When we want to talk about, if justice has been served, I
Hmm.
think that can be debated. There can be some kind
Hmm.
of debate in that if
Yeah.
justice has been served or not. Epstein died in 2019. That's when he died, and I think after his death, there haven't been any full trial since 2019. Yeah, there's no full trial. And with over 250 victims, or if not even more than, but I think more than 250 victims who have been affected both directly and indirectly from this Epstein case, and
Hmm.
also allegations from high profile figures, celebrities, politicians, business tycoons, you know, and lack of charge. There's no there's no efficient charges that has been placed, against all these figures. So there's a gap. When you're talking if justice has been fully served, there's a gap. Just as I said, and why there's this gap is number one, insufficient evidence. Okay, the evidence that has been so far provided on social media and every other platforms is insufficient. Okay, and I think due to this insufficient evidence,
Hmm.
this has prevented justice from being preferred 100%. So yeah, there's a gap. There's a gap. There's a gap on that.
All right. In your view, how does the Epstein case expose flaws in the legal system or elite accountability?
Uh, the Epstein case. Well, I think there are some flaws that has been exposed, especially in the legal system. Yeah. So, and particularly how wealth and influence, when you talk about wealth, you talk about influence and how it can, secure these plead, from these cases. I can remember there was a case of this Epstein stuff, I think in 2008 or something. And that case, there was sort of a hindrance that hindered investigations from carrying on, to continue, to push forward to see if something fruitful can come out from the case. So there were some records that we had gotten from the juries and even some files. There were some redacted files hints, but and all the reluctance to to challenge those in power because of course those in power are the elite. So there's a sort of a reluctance to challenge those in power. So when you bring all these factors into play, these things, it raises the questions about impartiality.
Hmm.
It raises that question of impartiality. So yeah, Yeah, for sure. I can tell you, see that. I can tell you that this see that case, this Epstein case and Epstein files, of course, for sure, it has exposed lots of flaws in the legal system. It has.
Uh, yeah. What role do you think the media has played, positively or negatively, in shaping public perception of Epstein's network and the survivors' stories?
Um, connect my own. Hello?
Hello?
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
hello?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Did you hear my question?
yeah. No, please ask the question again. Sorry.
Okay, sure, sure. What role do you think the media has played, positively or negatively, in shaping public perception of Epstein's network and the survivors' stories?
The media. The media, yeah, the media has played. I would for sure. I would tell you since this Epstein case started, happening. The media has played double roles. The media hasn't actually played. I won't. There's no particular thing I can point my hand on that the media has actually done. No. So the media has done double roles. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
on this issue. So and if I try to remember some of the roles that the media has played.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, see that. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I don't know if you remember the Miami Herald drove renewed scrutiny in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That particular incident gave survivors a voice, okay? Because survivors from this case who have been struggling, trying to adapt to reality. They actually lost their voice, but this particular thing actually gave them a voice. Okay, and that's the positive aspect because just as I told you earlier, the media has played double roles. So that's a positive aspect. Then for the negative aspects, mm, from the negative aspect, I would think it's the media partners themselves, those operating blogs, the bloggers, the
Mm-hmm.
journalists. In journalism, you have of course, we have the sensational journalists, those who like writing sensational stories, creating sensational headlines, promoting misinformation, and stuff like that. So yeah, those negative media, they have also played that negative role, writing sensationalism and unverified claims, unverified stories,
Mm-hmm.
most especially about Trump himself, the president,
Mm-hmm.
and even
Mm-hmm.
the former president Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So when you bring these two narratives together, you see the media has played a positive role and a negative role on this Epstein case.
All right. Okay. There's another question here in the comments. I'll just put it up to you here. Epstein was just the face or forefront of it all. The actual culprits are of higher hierarchy.
Yes, I agree with Rich. Yes, I can tell you, I agree with Rich. Yes, Epstein is actually the face of this all. Because when you dig deeper into this, you see there's so much bigger picture of everything. Okay, that those in power, those in elites will not like, I can sort of, I can call it classified information. Okay, that, the elites would not like to be disclosed to the public.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So many horrible things, and even journalists and especially investigative journalists, whenever they try to to dig into this to try to hunt out the truth, most of them
Mm-hmm.
can be hunted down. There are some reports
Mm-hmm.
where most of them have been killed. Yeah, some kidnapped, some threatened. So yeah, I agree with Reg. Reg has a point. Epstein is just a
Yeah.
pawn in this whole game. It's just like a chess game. So Epstein is just like a pawn. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. How important is it for authorities to release the full list of Epstein associates, and what are the implications if they don't?
To be honest, releasing a full list of associates, those involved in these Epstein files, it could clarify who knew what, who knew. It could clarify so many things. It could bring out so many truths. You know, because without evidence of complicity, there's a risk of defamation, and there's a risk of should I call it vigilante justice? True justice not being served. These are the
Mm-hmm.
risks that it poses. So, but if this list is being withheld from the public, because as I told you earlier, not just Americans are looking forward to the list. The whole world is looking forward to this Epstein list. So, but if we keep talking about this list, Epstein list, and the media keep talking about this list, and of course it has not been released,
Mm-hmm.
this can create some kind of friction, within institutions. It can create some kind of mistrust. There won't be a kind of a trust. There won't be transparency between various institutions. Suggesting a kind of a cover up. It can suggest a kind of cover up. So, but although victim privacy, or should I say survivors, those who are survivors of the Epstein case, those who are victims, of
Mm-hmm.
course, we should also consider their privacy. Okay, because in a situation whereby these files are fully released, some victims, their privacy might be breached. So we should also consider victim privacy and ongoing investigations, that are being done on this Epstein case. Yeah, it will also strengthen ongoing investigation because there are so many investigations that have been carried out on this Epstein case. So yeah, releasing it will help ongoing investigations.
All right. My final question to you is what impact do you think the Epstein case will have on future investigations into elite or institutional abuse of power?
It's just like the last question you said. You asked me. When I was trying to conclude it, I was like, saying ongoing investigations can actually help. So yes, apart from ongoing investigations, there are also going to be future investigations. Journalists and those in the intelligence units, of course, we would like to do more investigations because as more details are being brought out, more investigations will still be carried out. So future investigations into those into power, especially the elites, those into power, abuse. Of course, there'll be some kind of it will gain momentum. Momentum will be gained. There'll be some kind of strength, building around the case, and it will push for stronger oversight and the victims, of course, because
Mm-hmm.
when we are talking about this Epstein case, they are victims that have been affected from. It also it will support victims. Okay, but if accountability, if there's no fairness, if there's no accountability, if there's no transparency, there's going to be a lot of problem. It will make it hard, to provide true justice. It will make it hard to provide true justice. Everybody wants true justice, but when true justice is not provided, you see there's a problem in it. So the Epstein case, Epstein, in fact, the Epstein case has really shown everyone that indeed there's a need for reform, in the system. The whole system needs a reform, and yeah, of course, it challenges overcoming power dynamics, especially the elites, those in power, the politicians. They feel threatened when this Epstein case comes up. So of course they don't want to discuss about it. They don't want the media talking about it. So yeah, a lot of things will happen from future investigations, but most of these points I highlighted is, I think, are possible outcomes that can happen in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you. It was nice chatting with you again.
Yeah, likewise.